Good morning, everybody. I am piggybacking this again right off of the last one. Like, I just finished the clip for last week's vlog. Now I'm starting this week's. Feel like that with last week having been a rest week in a lot of ways, I think that it's time for me to get back on the horse. I am gonna try to be kind to myself though when I feel like I need to just not do things. This week I think my main focus is gonna be getting through the Well of Ascension. I had meant to get through most of this last week and it didn't end up happening. I don't know whether or not I'm gonna use the audiobook. I would really like to be able to because I feel like that's kind of been my main way of absorbing material is listening to the audiobook while physically reading. But the audiobook from my library is gonna be not in my possession for a while. So I'm debating whether or not to just buy the audiobook off of Audible for like 15 bucks or something with a membership, but I don't know, because otherwise it's like $40 for the audiobook. That's gonna be my main focus this week. I feel like I need to just take it easy as best I can. And of course my battery is gonna die, so I'm gonna leave that here, but I'll hopefully talk to you guys again when I've made some progress, if I've made any progress here in the next like few days. I hopefully won't just wait till next week to close off the vlog like I did last week, so we'll see. Hey guys, so I've come into the library to do a little bit of a time lapse because I'm going to basically be going through my entire physical library and trying to find the books that are all written by AAPI authors, which includes like most of my manga, stuff like that, in preparation for May, because I'd like to do my TBR where it's not exclusively just AAPI authors, but I want to try to get as much on there as I can, and I want to get all of the books that I have in that realm together so that when I go to read stuff outside of like my established TBR for May, they're all together. And I think that while I'm in the process of that, I'm also going to put away the books that I just hauled at the end of my last vlog, because some of them definitely need to go on there. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do here. I've got a little bit less than half an hour left of my lunch. I've got like 25 minutes basically. So I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can, but I might finish this up later tonight after I get done with work. Robert's not going to be home for quite some time because he is actually having to go do deliveries today as opposed to his normal job because they needed an extra person. So he won't be home till later. So I'll have some time after I get done with work to work on this some more, but let's kind of get started, I guess. Bubby, no, go, get out, no, shoot, shoot, I don't know, we're not playing. Oh goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's not playtime, I swear. Quit it! Oh no, I'm being attacked. Oh no! It's taking me down! I guess that's time for me to go. So, we'll finish this up later. Okay, it is going on 5 o'clock. I am done with work. We're going back up to the library while Oscar eats his dinner to finish up with getting my AAPI books off of my shelves. I've gone through 2 rows of my library and I'll show you what I've got so far. I've got 2 books there that are for my May D20 TBR. Actually, one of them only is, the other one was the other choice, basically. And then these are all of the AAPI books physically that I currently have, which I am honestly very surprised by. But then again, a lot of it is manga and or graphic novels. But still, this is a pretty impressive part of my library. I did not think I had nearly this many. So that's exciting. And I still have, like I said, pretty much the entire bottom row and all of these stacks that don't fit on my shelves that I have to go through. So I think this is pretty promising. I think I'm going to have a really big stack of possibilities to go through. I would like to try to get through like graphic novels and mangas like back to back to back if I have time, but I don't know. We'll kind of see how May turns out. It might end up being kind of more of a, after I get done with most of my TBR in May, a very mood read-esque month for AAPI, but I guess we'll see. Excuse me, mister. The hazards of having a puppy. Constantly wanting attention. Ow! No jumps! No, no jumping, please.
I've been thinking about my options.
Okay, we have officially gone through and found, I think, all of the AAPI authors I physically own. It is entirely possible I'm missing some in terms of the graphic novels because I don't know whether some of the artists of the graphic novels I have are Asian or not. For instance, I have Brian Vaughn's Paper Girls series that is in my stack here, but I also know that he has Saga, but I don't know if anyone that worked on that with him, like Fiona Staples, if she's Asian or not. And then I also have Umbrella Academy, which I don't know if the person that worked with Gerard Way on that is Asian. And I have the Rat Queen series, which again, I don't know if anyone that worked on that is Asian. So that's as far as I know in terms of the AAPI authors. I feel like we didn't add too much more to this stack of what there was, but we definitely added in a ton more graphic novels that are right here on top, or manga, and then graphic novels and stuff again, like I said. So I think, though, those are all of my AAPI reads in terms of authors that are Asian American or Pacific Islander, and now I just gotta make sure I have the ones on my Kindle ready to go. So now that my library is a right mess, I would go back through and like shift my books over and stuff, but I don't know if I want to do that right now, just because even though now there's like giant gaps where I could shift books over, I'm gonna have to take that space up again anyway with the books when I put them back. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. I don't think I will, just because at this point it's gonna be too much work to have me do that. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna get dinner started. But Oscar's eaten his dinner, obviously, with the fact that he came upstairs and came to bother me, and he wants to play. So, yep, looks like he ate all of his dinner. Was a good boy. That's a good boy, Oscar. But yeah, like I said, it's after 5. That didn't take me nearly as long as I thought it was going to, so that's good. I haven't done any reading as of yet because I've just been kind of trying to relax, take it easy. Oscar apparently might need to go outside. So, do you need to go out? You go out? Yeah, he's got to go out. So I'm going to go take care of him. And then I think I'm going to get dinner started. Okay, all right. Jeez. And we'll kind of see where we go from here. I think tonight, though, will be a good time to just go ahead and get some reading done. Finally start the Well of Ascension. I've been putting it off long enough. It's time to get started with it soon. Hello everybody, it is 12:33 on Wednesday the 20th, happy 420. Yeah, so I haven't updated you guys in the last couple of days because I've been a little busy with like work and stuff, but I do finally have an update. I've got through the first 59 pages basically of the Well of Ascension. I finally started it this week. A couple pages here and there over the last couple of days, nothing really too much to give you any opinion. It did take a little bit of time for me to get used to the world again because I've been away from Mistborn for a while, and I also felt that I forgot a lot of stuff initially. But thankfully, what's really good is that Brandon Sanderson, from the beginning of the book, within the first couple of chapters, really doesn't like hold your hand exactly through the entirety of recounting what happened in the last book. But for some reason, with reading it, I got enough of the previous story brought up in here that I was like, oh yeah, I do remember exactly what happened. Like once I kind of got through the first, I would say probably 15 pages or so, I was pretty much caught right back up. I didn't have to do too much research to remember what exactly happened. I will say too that when I get sucked into this, I get sucked in, and it feels like I'm not reading nearly as much as I am because like I'm not feeling like I spend a lot of time. Basically, I feel like I'm reading more in a short span of time than I am aware of because it feels like I'm just flying through this, honestly. Also, I just made my first cup of boba by myself. It's kind of this instant boba thing that my husband got at Costco, but it's brown sugar, so it's the only flavor, but it is so good. It's so yummy, and I'm so happy. And I did order more like stuff to make more flavors of boba. That should be coming in the next handful of weeks. So I'm very excited because I have this love for boba, but the only time I can get it is when I go out to the mall, and I'm trying to not do that as often because while I do like to go have my time by myself, it usually involves me spending a bunch of money that I don't need to buy things like coffee and boba and stuff like that. So if I can make it at home, it kind of just makes it easier for me to not have to go out and get it. So, plus this is just really good stuff. So I'm happy. I am very, you know, pleased with the fact that this tastes as good as it does, because I think if it didn't, I was going to be very disappointed. So I'm very excited to see how my boba making journey goes. But anyway, I'm basically gonna call it there for right now, and I'll update you guys when I've made more significant progress in the Well of Ascension, because I don't feel like otherwise I have much to say. Nothing really new is going on, nothing really fantastic is happening. It's just kind of a pretty run-of-the-mill week. Hello everybody, it is Thursday. It's going on 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm taking a quick break from work. First of all, I don't normally do my hair like this. I haven't done it like this in a long time, but I thought it looked really cute. Today I do have an update for you reading wise, but I first want to show you guys this package I got. So basically what I'm saying is I spent some money on getting stuff to make boba. They're both basically from scratch, but one of the ways you can make it is you can steep your tea. So if you're gonna make like a milk tea basically, which is a lot of times what boba is, you would steep your tea and then you would add in the bubbles, you would add in your own milk, your own cream, your own sugar, that kind of thing, but the tea would be kind of the real base of everything. What I have done though, because it's the easiest and because I already have a couple things of tea that I can do that with if I chose to, I have got basically these packets of flavor powder. You just have to either add in like water or milk or whatever it is you want to use for this. So I wanted to show you guys what exactly I got in this first package, and then the other packages I'll be getting. I bought all of the stuff that I have on Amazon. Pretty easy to find. I did end up getting a package that has the boba basically by itself, and it does come with straws, but these are not reusable. I did purchase reusable straws that should be in this package, but it does come with these plastic straws. Oscar, it's not for you, buddy. This is not for you. But basically, I just got the tapioca pearl boba, which is basically just a black bubble. It doesn't really have any taste. It's the typical bubble you will get when you get boba, but you can always get like the popping pearls instead that have more flavor. But I got these because I do like the chewiness of these ones. I did, like I said, get some reusable straws. So these are just kind of more of a silicone or maybe even plastic boba straw. It does come with straw cleaners as well, so I can reuse them, which is my main big thing with this. But the big item that's in here is the flavor powders that I bought. The company I bought these from is called Fusion Select. This one is an Earl Grey tasting one, so this is gonna have like an Earl Grey tea kind of taste if you like that. I do really like Earl Grey. It's a little bit more floral than most teas I normally drink, but I really do enjoy this. And it even has really easy instructions on the back for how to use it. And then I have a set that I bought from them that was multiple flavors all together. And the things I'm really waiting on that are supposed to come in tomorrow and Saturday are basically just more flavor powders. So it came with more plastic straws, which obviously these are throwaways. The flavors I got are strawberry, and it does actually have instructions on the bag as well, which are pretty similar to the other packet that I have, the Earl Grey one. So I got strawberry. Again, this was like a set that they had. It was like 6 of them, I think. Honeydew, which I'm really excited for that one. That's gonna be super fruity. I'm really excited. Then there is the milk tea, just basic milk tea, probably more of like a brown sugar kind of idea, or maybe even just pretty plain, not necessarily like vanilla, but like pretty plain. There is coconut, and then we have the Thai tea one, which I've never had Thai tea, so I'm curious how this one's gonna taste, if I'm gonna like this. The bags are not very big, like they're basically about the size of a bag of candy that you'd get from the grocery store, which, however, saying that, like, you don't really need a ton of powder to make any of this. And I have taro, which I've also never tried, but I have heard is really, really yummy when it comes to boba, so I'm curious how that one's gonna taste. And I'm really excited too because I think Robert's like into trying this, so I'm not gonna be the only one using all of these, excuse me. I also have the lychee one, which this one's gonna taste amazing. And then last I have mango. So it's like 8. It's 8 different flavors that this set comes with also throwaway straws, which is pretty cool. Like I said, I've got several more coming. I think I've got like, I don't know, at least 8 other flavors coming. They're gonna be more in like this packaging where it's like more of the paper packaging kind of thing from Fusion Select, because these were basically by themselves. This was in a set kind of thing. So, but yeah, the individual packets are like, I think $7 for most of them on the Fusion Select page. And then the set, I want to say was like $35 to $40. And then the boba, I think, was like maybe $15, $20. But then the reusable straws was like, I think $8, something like that. They weren't that expensive. So very excited to dive into all of these. And like I said, I have another package coming in tomorrow. This should be more of the flavors. And then one more package coming in Saturday, which is like one more flavor that didn't get shipped out with the rest of them. And then there's one that's supposed to come in June. It's specifically a Sakura Rose one that I was really excited for, but it says it's not gonna come here until like the end of June, like June 20th is when it's expected to be here. I do have a reading update for you guys, so let me get all this stuff put away, and then we will talk about some of my thoughts on the Well of Ascension, because I've reached part 2, and I have some thoughts. Okay, so please excuse any background noise if you hear it. Oscar is very upset with the fact that I was up and around and moving and not playing with him, so he's decided he's gonna take his little bones and just run amok around the house. So if you hear him clattering and clanging and running into things, that's why. So I am, like I said, up to part 2 of the Well of Ascension. I'm on page 121, and I have some thoughts on this. I really, really like the direction that this is going, because I don't want to spoil really much if you guys have not read the Mistborn series. But in order to talk about this, I do have to talk a little bit about things that happen in Mistborn, so I will leave like kind of a spoilery note here for those of you that have not read Mistborn. So if you haven't read it, please go do so before listening to me talk about this and watching part of this video. Otherwise, you can go ahead and skip to the time that I also will put down here. So anyway, the Well of Ascension takes place a year after the events of Mistborn. What I really like about this is that we see a lot more of Vin's insecurities coming to the forefront here because of the fact that Kelsier is gone. And I feel like that a lot of that is because, you know, she's been somebody who for the longest time, for pretty much most of her life, up until the last like 2 years of it, has pretty much been unable to trust anybody, unable to really put her faith in anyone, because she's grown up with a lot of violence in her past, by being abused by not only her mother, but her brother, and then various people that she lived with. And when Kelsier came around in Mistborn, he really shook all that up and taught her the actual meaning of a found family, in a sense, where like he showed her that there were good people in this world that did really want to care about her and take care of her and make sure she was okay. And so she builds this relationship with all of the people involved in this revolution that Kelsier is bringing about. And when she goes undercover as a noblewoman to kind of start infiltrating the nobility that there is in this world to figure out more information for Kelsier, she meets a character named Ellen, who I wouldn't say very quickly, because it's honestly spanned over the course of a long time, like about a year, I would say. But she develops a budding friendship and then kind of relationship with a guy named Ellen, who is the son of one of the very high noblemen in this world. Like, he is pretty much like destined to take over his father's position, which is pretty much right under the Lord Ruler. And she thinks that by befriending him, it could definitely give her an advantage, but he's also not super well liked because Ellen is also very kind of standoffish, and you learn that he also is kind of planning his own revolution in the course of Mistborn. Well, in here, you see that Vin and Ellen eventually did get together at some point. They admitted their feelings for each other. You find out that Ellen actually has proposed at least once to Vin, and she's denied it. And there's a lot of talk in here that I really appreciate about Vin's inability to truly feel like she can be loved by anybody, even somebody like Ellen, who she loves with all her heart and soul, because she's a victim of abuse. And a victim of abuse, especially to the degree that Vin has been under, it is very hard for anybody to fully break that shell. I can say to some kind of experience, like, I understand where she comes from, because I do have some issues still to this day, being a married woman of almost a year and a half, where I still some days, even having been with my husband for now going on 10 years in a couple of years, you know, I still have issues talking with him about some things, because I'm afraid of opening myself up, because of the fact that I spent a lot of my life growing up kind of being knocked down for sharing my feelings, for sharing how, you know, I'm upset about something, or because I was being told I was being too overdramatic, or that I was reading too much into things and all these things. And so it makes it harder for me to open up to a lot of people, especially somebody that I really care about and love, because I don't want to push them away by telling them these awful things. Now, I don't think I understand completely what Vin is going through, because I've never been somebody that has been on the other end of abuse. But I think from an insecurity standpoint, I really relate to her, because I understand what it feels like to not feel like you can fully trust anybody, even though so badly you want to. Like, you really want to put all of your eggs in the basket of another person, but that overwhelming fear that they're just going to turn and run away, and they're just going to completely abandon you after you've kind of unloaded to them when they've asked you to unload to them. So I really appreciate a lot of the discussion that Vin brings up in terms of looking at a character who we see as kind of our main protagonist, and in a lot of ways a hero character that is massively struggling with their own mental health, their own insecurities, their own kind of trust issues. Like, it's just very refreshing to see, especially a female character, be put in this light and not seem so fragile. Like, as difficult as it is to write a character that has all of these emotional problems, she's not a fragile character. She's a very strong young woman, and I really appreciate that even though she has all these things kind of, you know, in the back of her mind, she still is willing to put that all aside in the moment where she has to show up to protect the people she cares about. So I really, really think that that is something that I've been picking up a lot on in this, that I feel like does need to be discussed, because I don't think that a lot of people will think about this story in terms of looking at Vin as a character and what she represents and what she brings to the table in terms of talking about different kinds of people, because I feel like characters are supposed to be representations of different kinds of people we meet in real life, right? We base our characters off of either people we know or people that we interact with at the very least, or people that we know about in terms of personality, in terms of the things that they've gone through, the things that they've experienced. I just really appreciate how Brandon Sanderson, being a male writer, doesn't over-fragilize Vin to the point where she's just a whiny young girl. She's a strong woman who has very, very deep-seated issues though, and I really appreciate that there's a lot of complexity involved with her. So I think that's one of the reasons I've really come to like Brandon Sanderson now, this being my second book of his that I've read, because I just feel like he writes Vin, at least, very well. I don't know whether he writes other female characters this way. I don't know if this is something that continues in his writing career, but just from the first two books of this series, I highly commend him for how he's written Vin so sensitively. Basically, I feel like he just took away his entire male perspective, his own perspective, his personal perspective of Vin, and just wrote her as if Vin was writing the story herself, you know, and really getting to the truth of the matter of what her thoughts are, what her things involved in this story are, her feelings, the complexities involved in all of that. I really appreciate that, because I don't think that many authors write in that way to where it's believable and it's, you know, relatable. I haven't really picked it up at all today. I've been kind of taking some time to ruminate on the first part because there was so much that happened. But I think I'm gonna get to this tonight, and I'm gonna really try my best to get through a lot of this weekend because I want to get it done. And then I would like to be able to move on to something else. I don't know if I'm gonna get to my next Wheel of Time book because Spring Flingoween is next weekend, and so I kind of want to pick up something smaller maybe. I also did place a couple holds at my library, one of which is for my Wheel of D20 books, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that book though before I film my Wheel of D20 video, like the rest of the filming I have to do for it, I think I should be able to. It really depends on how quick they can get it processed, because it was available at the library, but I probably won't be able to pick it up until at least tomorrow. And then the other book I put on hold is a book for the Royally Booked Book Club for May, which is The Rhythmatist by Brandon Sanderson. So we got another Brandy Sandy gonna be going on in May. I'm excited though, because I think that May, I'm gonna have a nice fresh start. I'm gonna take it easy the rest of the month as best I can. 2 books for Spring Fling-a-ween. That's all I'm gonna be able to do, which is fine, which includes my Stephen King read for the month, and I'm buddy reading that with Destiny. I will talk to you guys when I made more progress in the Well of Ascension. I might wait a couple of days before coming back on, obviously, unless my other packages arrive. Like, that's probably the only other thing you're gonna see is when my other 2 packages arrive tomorrow and Saturday. Oh boy, you guys, it's Saturday, or not Saturday, it's Friday, and more of my boba stuff's come in. So, I don't know where to put you because the dishwasher is currently running, which is very noisy. I guess I'll just do this right here in the living room. And that way I'm also not able to have Oscar attack the bag. So let's see if this will work. Oh God, no, my battery's gonna die. Okay, fresh battery put in. Now I need to figure out how to set you so that we can do this. Okay, that might work. Nope, don't fall, please. Oscar, you're gonna be okay. There we go. All right, awesome. So this is a few more flavors that I got for my boba stuff. Robert had some last night and it was really, really good. Like, I was actually really impressed with how, whoops, there was a dog toy. I was actually really impressed with how easy it was to make the boba pearls. Like, I literally had to just have them, have the water boil for a little bit, set them in there for about 2.5 minutes, after the water was boiling, and after the bubbles kind of floated up to the top. And then after letting that boil for about 2.5 minutes, you let it sit for 2.5 minutes, and then you have to basically sit them in cold water for about 20 seconds, and then you can put them away. But these are 6 more flavors I got. Again, these are pretty cheap, but there's not like a ton of product. So these are, again, by Fusion Select. I got a lavender, I got pineapple, which I'm really excited for that one. I got a standard vanilla because I do like the vanilla milk tea. It's pretty yummy, and that might be easiest on Robert because I feel like there's some of them where he definitely will not like. He really liked the strawberry one, but it is a little chalky because of the powder. Then I also got watermelon and banana and blueberry. So I have, I think, at least 1 more coming in tomorrow. I think it's only one more flavor, and then like I said, there's one that's supposed to come in not until June, but it's like, I guess, like a really like back ordered one or something like that. But super excited to have these now. But aside from that, in terms of my reading, where's my book? It's actually over here. I didn't get too much farther into the Well of Ascension. I'm still in part 2 of it, but last night I got to page 157. I'm on chapter 14. I think that this weekend, because I'm not really doing anything, I don't have any plans per se, I'm gonna spend a lot of it reading. I have to tonight get my Arch Enemies video uploaded, which is not gonna take too much, and then I also this weekend would like to try to get my May TBR video finished up, but I'm currently adding in something else for May, which I think it's gonna work out fine. It's because I have a lot of reads I want to get through in May. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is participate in Desertathon, but kind of similar to what I've been doing with Realmathon here in April. I'm really gonna only put in as much effort as I possibly can with the stuff I'm already planning on reading, because I do want to take it easier on myself. And because I have a lot of things I'd like to get to that are either things to catch up on or my AAPI reads I'm going to be focusing on in the month as well. Like, I feel like I don't want to add too many more prompts to my month. So basically it's going to be whatever I read, hopefully it matches up with some of the prompts that are going to be coming up for Desertathon. But if not, like, it's not a big deal. It's kind of just one of those things where, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Oscar has all of a sudden decided he's going to take on my blanket and just curl up at my feet. Let me show you guys this nonsense. Oh, and now he's been distracted because somebody decided to run off or drive off. Oscar. Oscar James. Hello. What do you see? You're being very needy today, and I'm not sure exactly why. He is getting so big, you guys. He's almost 5 months and he's huge. Also, I did actually clean up my office quite a bit. I got a little shoe rack thing, kind of, and organized my shoes a little bit. They're not like necessarily completely organized. There's a lot of them that are still sitting on the floor, but pairs are together now, and like my flats and tennis shoes and stuff like that are all together on the shoe rack. But today I'm hoping also that after I finish up work and Robert gets home, I'm gonna head over to the library and pick up my hold that I have for one of my D20 books. And I also am gonna see if there's anything else that I necessarily would like to have for the next couple of weeks that would work for AAPI stuff. Kind of what my plan is for tonight, and then come home and get through more of the Well of Ascension. I would like to get to page 200 tonight if I can, and then spend pretty much the rest of the weekend dedicated to that and kind of go from there. I don't think I have anything going on this weekend. Like Saturday, I don't think my mom is coming to see me or anything, as far as I know as of right now, but who knows? That could probably change, because it'll probably get to tomorrow morning and she's gonna be like, hey, are you like doing anything? Do you wanna go get coffee, or do you wanna go like do something? Because on Saturdays, we tend to get a little bored, and especially me, I don't get out of the house very often because I work from home, and so like, if I get to go out at all, it's usually to get groceries, and that's basically it. So Saturdays are usually my day where I get to go do something, and it usually involves shopping, which I'm trying to limit. Anyway, I'm gonna finish up the rest of my break and the rest of my day, and I will share with you guys what I get from the library when I get back. Okay, so I've just gotten out of the library. I'm still parked, do not worry. I literally just got in the car, and it is raining. I got a shit ton of books that were available. I'm so excited. And I, again, specifically went for books that were gonna be AAPI because I really want to have a good ton of them going into May. Now, first thing I got was the book I have on hold, which I'm not going to show you yet because this video will go out probably more than likely before my Wheel of D20 video, but I got the book that I needed for my Wheel of D20. And one of the first ones I got was How We Fall Apart by Katie Zhao. I have heard really good things about this. This is I think a YA mystery thriller. All the books I got are YA, just so you know, but I've heard this is really, really a good thriller, and it's actually quite short. It's a lot shorter than I thought it would be. I also got You've Reached Sam by Dustin Tao. This is making its rounds everywhere. Book Talk, BookTube, Book Twitter. I think it's supposed to be a contemporary and like a really sad one. Oh God, the tagline. A heartfelt novel about love and loss and what it means to say goodbye. Oh God, that's gonna kill me. Next one I found I have never heard of, but this cover intrigued me. And the fact that it's done by sisters. It is Sisters of the Snake by Serena and Sasha Nanua. This cover is just stunning. I mean, look at how beautiful that artwork is. Like, I had to grab it. I could not leave it. Next is one by an author I'm already kind of familiar with. I haven't really read her work, but I have one of her other books. And again, I think that this is still counting to be AAPI because I believe that Samira Ahmed is Asian American. She's Indian. It says she was born in Bombay, India, so I think she's Indian. But it's Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know. I have her other book, Internment, which I've been meaning to get to for a while. So I think what I would like to do is read both of those back to back. Next is another author that I already have stuff of that I still have yet to read, but is on part of my TBR, and it is Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. I have Emergency Contact, and I have, what is it? I just recently got one of her other books. I can't remember. It's not this one though, it's a different one, but this one's I think her newest one, or it was her newest one for the longest time. Like it might have came out in like 2021, something like that. So excited to read this. I've heard Mary H.K. Choi is really good for contemporary. Next I got Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. I'm fairly certain this is the only Marie Lu book I don't have other than the sequel to Warcross. And this is Marie's newest book. I know there's some kind of things about her in terms of the crypto stuff that went on a few months back that people aren't a fan of, but I loved the Prodigy series. I really, really enjoyed that. I also have the entirety of the Rose Society, or the Young Elites, that's what it's called, the Young Elite series. And I also have Warcross, and I have the Kingdom of Back all
within my library, Kindle or physical, so I wanted to get through that one. I also picked up Star Daughter by Sveta Thakrar, I think. But I have heard nothing but good things about this one, and this is kind of more of a sci-fi-y story because it's about a girl who's like the daughter of a actual literal star. Then I also picked up Frankly in Love by David Yoon because I couldn't do this without thinking about David Yoon. He was one of the people that came to mind first and foremost for some reason, even though I've never read anything by him, but I picked up his book because I've heard some pretty okay things about it. And I also could not do this without thinking about Taherah, which for this one I got An Emotion of Great Delight. I think this is her newest one. I'm pretty sure this one I think came out after A Very Large Expanse of Sea, which I have at home, so I've got this one. And then the other book, the final book I got, is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I really liked Spin the Dawn, and I have Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk at home. And I also have a couple books that she's written in the Disney Twisted Tales series that I would like to be able to read, but this is one of her newer ones. This is the first book, and I think currently it's a duology. I don't think it's being expanded into a trilogy, but it is very fantasy, Asian inspired. So I'm very excited for that. I do, like I said, have plenty of other books at home that I can also choose from, but I thought what would be nice is to make sure that I have more novels on hand because I do have a lot of manga and graphic novels, which is great, but I would like to make sure that I really focus on novels about as much as the manga and stuff when I can get to them. And there's actually quite a few in here that are, I think, going to be fairly quick to read because they're pretty small. And like I said, some of them are contemporary, so it's going to probably make it a lot easier for me to fly through these. And, you know, I have them for however long. I've got them for like 3 weeks or so, I think. Let me look at my slip. I have them until the 13th. So, you know, I think that that's going to be pretty feasible. Even if I don't get all of them done by the 13th, if I can get through a good couple of these, I'll be happy because at the very least, like I said, they are going to help with trying to read more Asian American Pacific Islander books. So that's my little library haul for you guys. So I'm going to basically head home now. It's going on 5:30 and the house is only a couple minutes away, so it's not super far, which is super awesome. I would have showed you guys what the library looks like because it's not necessarily small. It's pretty spread out, but it's in this kind of like, it looks basically like a strip center of some kind that they converted the building into being a library years ago. And there's always a security guard there. And so I'm always nervous to take like any kind of footage in there because I don't know if it's allowed because, you know, I just don't want to cause any issues. And so I don't film in there mostly because I'm just kind of afraid. Also social anxieties, that's a thing. So I am honestly surprised I even took the time to sit here in the car and do this because I had somebody next to me that I'm fairly certain could see that I was talking to my phone. So yay for anxiety, am I right? So, all right, we're gonna head home now. I don't know if Robert has started dinner or anything. If not, I'm gonna get dinner started, and then I think I'm gonna get reading on the Well of Ascension because I would like to, like I said, get to about page 200 tonight before the end of the night. I'm like 43 pages from that because I'm on page 157 currently. If I can get further than that, that would be great. I don't want to like overdo it though, and then tomorrow I'm fairly certain I don't have anything going on, so I probably could spend most of the day reading. And then Sunday, Robert is going out golfing with some friends, and so I will be all by myself at the house, so I will definitely be able to get some reading in on Sunday while he's out doing that. But I don't know about tomorrow just because I don't know, again, if my mom's going to come visit or what. So, but I'm going to quit talking, and I'm going to head home and get on with the evening.
Hello everybody, please excuse the state of my hair, and I have an Oscar who has decided to grace me with his kisses. It is going on 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. I haven't updated you guys in a few days just because I've been really just trying to focus on other things. I did though get to the third part of the Well of Ascension. I'm currently on page 348, so I'm not quite halfway through the book. I am trying to get as far into it as I can today and try to finish it. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I may have to take this into tomorrow and finish it up then, and then I would like to spend the last couple of days before Spring Flingoween working on the betrayals. So that's kind of what my plan is so far with next week. But yeah, it's just been kind of up and down. I had reading sprints last night, and I got some pretty bad news though from my mom. Unfortunately, my family dog, Kaya, who you guys have heard me talk about and you have seen, she is currently in the animal hospital. It turns out that she apparently has had a bladder full of stones for probably a good while without anyone knowing, because yesterday apparently she was having a really hard time urinating, and then she was also throwing up and everything, which is usually a bad sign when it comes to any kind of kidney or bladder stones, and she is scheduled to have surgery tomorrow. But as far as things are now, as of this morning when I got a text from my mom, she's comfortable, they have a catheter in, she's also taking some antibiotics and anti-anxiety meds, because also that dog is super anxious all the time. That has always been a part of her personality, is how anxious she is, so the anti-anxiety meds are very helpful, and she's doing okay. Like, despite some of the pain she might be feeling, she's doing all right. So that was really awful to hear about last night. I actually ended up calling off sprints early at about like 11:30 because the last sprint we did, which was like 50 minutes, I didn't do any reading. If I wasn't sitting there just having a panic attack or anxiety attack really, and hoping and praying, you know, something would turn out well, I was doom scrolling, and that was not good. So after I did that, I basically just decided that we needed to stop. I'm feeling better now knowing that at least she's being taken care of, that she's doing okay, she's comfortable. But as far as Oscar, he's pretty dang good, as you saw. He's definitely just full of something. Robert's out golfing with some friends and has been since about 7 a.m. this morning, so I don't know when he's gonna come back. I just cleaned off my lens because I realized there were some spots on it. But yeah, so I actually though just made some lunch. I just heated up some leftovers from last night, and I'm gonna sit and I think watch a couple YouTube videos while I eat. And then before Princess's Sprints today, I'd like to get back to reading some more of The Well of Ascension. I think that if I don't finish it, I would like to be able to get to page 500 by the end of the night, because I'm at like 350. So it's like only 150 pages, give or take. So I think that that's manageable. And then the last like 200, almost 300 pages should hopefully be read tomorrow. I think I can do that, especially if I really am diligent with reading on my breaks and stuff tomorrow. Which, one thing I will say is that, like, I am enjoying reading this, and when I get back to reading it, I am very invested, and like, it is a book that I do want to keep reading. It's just that I have a lot of things that like I have to still take care of. Like, I got to pay attention to Oscar, you know, and I want to give myself also the ability to soak in the information. But I feel like this one is actually a lot easier to understand than I think Mistborn was, because I feel like Mistborn, there was so much thrown at you all at one time that some of it was a little harder to stick. I feel like this one, now that I'm a little bit more aware of the world and I feel like that the plot is a little bit more streamlined, it definitely makes more sense. I'll come back to you guys after we get done with sprints and when I'm ending up going to bed for the evening, just so I can give you guys kind of an idea. Because even if I don't finish this during sprints, I would like to maybe even get past page 500, especially if I get that to that point during sprints, and maybe we'll see if I can do that before the end of the night. Because sprints usually go to about like 7:30 sometimes at night my time, so I think it's possible that I could still then get some more reading in if I'm feeling up to it, but we'll see. We'll kind of see how things go, and I'll let you guys know how that turns out at the end of the night.